From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
And so we come to the end of our third week of American Agenda. When we began, we said this segment would focus on issues in our national life which are more important than others and therefore worth more attention. We also said these issues were important because there were choices which need to be made. Tonight is no exception, but unlike many other issues we've explored already, this problem is so commonplace, most people just don't see it. Of course, we will not be able to miss the consequences. Here's Ned Potter.
This is where the story ends, on top of a landfill in Camden County, New Jersey. Sneakers, phone books, diapers, shopping bags, soda bottles, piled up and shoveled under.
We have a throwaway society where many products have a useful life of only a few minutes.
The problem is that what makes our lives convenient is burying us. Americans discard 2.5 million plastic containers an hour. We generate 2.5 million pounds of trash every 5 minutes. That's 1 billion pounds every day, twice as much per person as in any other country on Earth.
Thank you.
Take the Burgoyne family. They live a few miles from that landfill in Camden County. They buy paper napkins, paper towels, paper tissue. Paper's the item we toss out most.
Nice?
Yeah.
Won't be as messy.
They buy food in plastic bottles that survive in landfills for centuries. A third of what the Burgoynes discard is merely packaging. And despite the environmental movement, each of us produces 15% more garbage than we did in 1960. Is there anyone to blame? Industry says it just gave consumers what they wanted.
The plastic container is lighter in weight, it's more convenient to handle, and it's safer.
It's also cheaper for the maker. Pepsi says a plastic bottle costs 30 to 40% less than glass. 80% of our trash goes into landfill, but engineers say most of the current sites nationwide will be used up within a decade. Is this our fate, to be buried in our own debris? For all our worrying, the list of solutions is awfully short. We can look for new landfill, but even if we find it, that pollutes the ground. We can burn garbage, perhaps even for energy, but that pollutes the air. We can change packaging, make plastics biodegradable so they'll dissolve in soil, but that's expensive. We can reduce the amount of garbage, but only by giving up a lot of conveniences.
Or we can recycle. It certainly doesn't solve the entire problem, but it's the best solution at the moment. And not because of social consciousness or fear or government regulation, but because it makes money.
In Camden County, a private company has made recycling convenient and profitable. Firms like this are springing up all over America. Workers separate the clear glass from the tinted, the aluminum from the tin. Landfills may charge a town $100 to accept a ton of trash. The recycling company charges the town nothing, because it sells the end product to firms that will use it again. $1,300 for a ton of high-grade aluminum. 100 miles away, recycling reaches its grandest proportions, just across New York Harbor from Manhattan. Pontiacs and subway cars, chopped up into fist-sized pieces, loaded on cargo ships bound for Asia. A shipload of scrap will sell for millions of dollars.
Scrap metal is the #1 or #2 export from the Port of New York almost every year. Basically, our Chevys are going over to become Toyotas.
Today, we recycle only 10% of our garbage. We could push that to 50% if we really tried, but that's close to the practical limit. 40% of our waste cannot be reused. So we have to return to the tougher choices: use less and waste less.
If we don't get a head start at solving these problems in the next 10 years, our problems will be awesome.
And in only 5 years, if we do nothing, that landfill where our story began will be full. Then what? Ned Potter, ABC News, Camden County, New Jersey.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.